Good morning, my beautiful bakers. Bam, 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 bam. How are we on this amazing morning? Couldn't tell you what morning because it slipped my mind already. Can you believe it? I think we're at number 66 or 67 recipes. So, this morning we're doing egg and soldiers. And you go, egg and soldiers? Really, Trish? But look at my egg and look at my soldiers. We are doing Filo egg breakfast cups and spicy wedges. The reason I'm doing that is because this is going to be my breakfast. So the faster I do this demonstration, the quicker I'm going to get that into that. So I am starting with 300 grams of baby potatoes. So we're going to do some spicy wedges first. These are absolutely divine. So if you decide, for example, that you want a Scooby snack and you make these spicy wedges, you can put a fried egg on top. You could do a ratatouille on top. You could sprinkle with mozzarella cheese. You can do a nacho base. There's so many things you can do with this. They're amazing. My kids absolutely adore these spicy wedges. So, to begin with, I have got 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. In it goes. I have got garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I have got half a teaspoon of onion granules. I have got half a teaspoon of black pepper, and I've got half a teaspoon of salt. That is my dry mix for my spicy wedges. Give it a shake, 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 shake. The beauty about putting it into a container first is that you can control the amount of spice and seasoning you want to put on your wedges. So you can decide if you only want to put a few, sprinkle, just a touch of magic. And hey ho, that's your sprinkly, beautiful wedges done. Or you can put the whole lot in like I do, because then you get delicious crunch. I mean, look at the coating of those wedges. You get that slightly peppery paprika, the aftertaste of some garlic, and it's just sweet, salty, crunchy goodness. So I've got my dry mix here. I have 1 teaspoon of sunflower oil. In it goes to 300 grams of baby potatoes. I just like using the baby potatoes. Give it a toss, toss, toss. So we have our potatoes. I'm putting in all the spice. Now, if you were going to do a family of 6, you would need to do about 2.5–3 kg of potatoes, and that's where you need to bunk up the spice. I'll put the recipe up again on the page so you can see quantity-wise, but you really do need to bulk it up in tablespoons rather than teaspoons. So, as it stands, we have got this lovely coating, 300 grams of baby potatoes for our spicy wedges. Yum! Tray, in it goes. Preheated oven at 180 degrees. Now, one of the things I do like to do is I like to put the potatoes on their back, because then you'll get the crunch on either side of the potato and they tend not to stick to the tray. And because they've been coated in oil, you're not going to have that problem anyway. So in go our little wedges for about 40 minutes. Now, as I said, even breakfast time, these are absolutely divine with a cracked fried egg on top of them. Heaven! Or even a dollop of Greek yogurt with some garlic grated into it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Even with the salsa, divine. Okay, so our wedges are going into our oven. In they go. Next thing, I am starting on Filo pastry. The fear of God goes into people with Filo. Filo is amazing. It is low fat, it is super to work with. It doesn't come in cling film, but because I did it this morning, I wanted to prepare the cling film so that I wouldn't dry out my Filo. Now, when you get your Filo, it'll come in a frozen pack in the frozen aisle. I have rarely seen it in the chill section. If you have, fab. But what you need to do when it's frozen is leave it to frost in the fridge. Do not leave it frost overnight on a countertop, because your pastry will end up almost gummy. It's not very pleasant to eat, and it's all because you have left the Filo pastry out on the counter to defrost. So it comes like this, like a book of deliciousness. What recipe are we on today? Let's see. We're flipping over the pages. Look at this. Look, this is what apple strudel's made of. And later I'll be doing an apple strudel. It is the easiest pastry to work with. So, just like this with Filo, it will dry quickly if you leave it out in the air. Don't want to leave it out. We want to be as fast ninjas this morning. So I shall take out 2 sheets. Uno and 2. Of course it would have to stick towards the end. Pull it away, it won't make any difference. And then we've got our little filo pastry. We still have loads of filo pastry left, and I've got loads of little tricks up my sleeve as well. So fold it, and then fold it again, fold it again. You get your cling film, and you put it back into the cling film like a little blanket for a little snooze. Back into the fridge it goes, making sure that it is airtight and it's not going to dry out. Back into the package and into the fridge. Kaboom! So we have our filo pastry, 2 sheets, and how I like to top mine is a pizza wheel. So give that break. So we have got sheets, lots of sheets. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, which is loads because I'm going to quarter it. So again, pull it apart. And as I said, filo pastry is such a lovely pastry to work with. It's just people are afraid or they don't know how to use it. And it is beautiful. And as I said, you can do potato pies, you can do sweet, you can do samosas. Baked samosas are coming up soon, if you stay with me. Baked samosas are absolutely gorgeous using your filo pastry. You've got baklava, that's absolutely gorgeous. Sickly sweet manjo, so I'm trying to keep the calories down. So, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my muffin tray. And I've got my butter. And while I'm going to work on 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets, I'm going to put the rest of the filo sandwiched between some kitchen paper so it doesn't dry out. And again, one at a time. Now, if my butter has, give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds in the microwave. Probably 4 seconds. 4 seconds of your time. You just have to wait for the butter to melt. Spitter, spatter, here we go. Excellent. So, stop saying so. Brush, painted, butter. In goes our butter into our muffin cases. And these are fab because the next thing you're going to do is you're going to brush each sheet liberally with some butter. Now, before you all have a heart attack, the amount of butter I am using here is 1 tablespoon for 6 of these breakfast cups. Now, with 6 of these breakfast cups, you barely use the butter, and I will still have loads left. So all I'm doing, can you see, is I'm just tucking in the little cup and your filo pastry into your cup. And again, you just brush liberally with your butter. In it goes. I'm not doing anything fancy. I am pushing up against the actual cupcake case when it comes out. And number 4, so 4 sheets per cupcake, okay? In they go, crackety crack, crackety crack. And again, oh my God! That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Turn it over the other way. And again, just a little bit. I have preheated my oven at 180. And again, these are lovely breakfast cups. I'm getting my fork and I'm just gonna stab it to the end just because I want a little bit of air. The other thing I like to do is I like to put a teeny tiny bit of red pesto, because if you put a little bit of pesto, not only does it give flavour to your breakfast cup, it also acts as a barrier, so you certainly won't have a soggy bottom. Nobody wants a soggy bottom on Saturday morning. So I have just put a tiny bit of red pesto. Now this is where the beauty of these little cups come in, because if you're down to your last farthing and you have got rarely anything left in your fridge, you can take tiny little bits of what you have left in your fridge and you can start building a little selection of goodies. I'm putting in some chopped tomato. I'm putting in a little bit of cheese, and that's strong, vintage, very strong cheese. I'm putting in a tiny bit of spring onion. Now the other thing I like to add, you could add chopped turkey, cooked chopped turkey, bacon. There, that's absolutely delicious. The other thing I do love is I love parma ham. Now the other thing you can add your feta cheese, you could add spinach at the bottom, you can do little scrambled eggs so that when you whip up your egg and when you put it into the oven, it becomes more omelette-like, which is yummy because I like mini quiches. So all I'm going to do is just fold and squidge in my parma ham so you get a lovely sweety, salty taste of the parma ham, and as the fact as well is it cooks really quickly. And then you get a free-range egg and you crack it in on top. Blip, blop, blop. You get maybe a tiny bit of parsley, another little bit of another little bit of cheese. You get some ground black pepper. And you repeat. So I'll do one more. So again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's as easy as, if you're going to zoom in, you have got your little egg nest, and behind us, as we're working, yes, the wedges will take 45 minutes. So this is where you need to do your timing, because obviously if you've got maybe 10 minutes left of your spicy wedges, that's when I would put in the little egg nests, because you'll also have these delicious wedges. And as I said, you do not need an awful lot of butter. It looks as if there is a lot of butter, but these are actually very, very healthy, and they are delicious. Now, if you decide that you want a firm egg and almost like a little snack in the afternoons where you want to hold it and it's not a runny egg, you would put it in for 15 minutes. I put it in exactly for 12 minutes. If you want a runny egg, 12 minutes for a runny egg. And in that goes. So we've got a 1, a 2, just making sure 2, 3, and we need one more. Now I have tried it with 3, and I did find that I just needed the extra sheet for stability, just to make sure that the little breakfast Filo cup wasn't that fragile. So that extra sheet does make a difference. And again, now, it doesn't necessarily have to be butter. You could have olive oil, you could have flavoured olive oil, you could have garlic oil, you could have any oil you fancy, because it'll then permeate through your beautiful Filo cups. Now this time I'm not going to put in the pesto. I'm going to put in, my barrier will be the cheese predominantly at the bottom. And again, I do love spring onions, so I'm going to chop in spring onion. I do love my tomato. I'm going to get my parsley. I don't know, sticking to my finger, but just hey ho ho. I'm going to get another sheet of parma ham. And just like that, when you get your sheets of parma ham, there's no need to put in the excess fat. It's not adding anything. I mean, I know this is the adding to the flavour, but these are just cooked in about 12 minutes. So I still want to have the tang of the parma ham, and I don't want the fat. Just don't want the fat. Don't need the fat. You can certainly make these without the fat of the egg yolk, and you can make egg whites and do exactly the same thing. I would go heavy on the seasoning just with the egg whites. And again, push that down. We get our little egg. Crack. Nice and slowly. And again, what did I put? Oh, what did I put? I put another little bit of cheese, a little bit of parsley, some black pepper, and these, as you see, will go into the oven. Now I'm not going to tilt it because it could go everywhere. So these are going into the oven for 12 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes, starting now.
Fantastic. So here we have our beautiful little breakfast cup. But what I do love, as I said, these are like your soldiers. So if you keep them for 12 minutes, watch. Oh, lads, game changer. You have got your eggy soldiers. So your eggy soldiers will never be the same. I am just going to leave that there. Mic drop, kaboom! So lads, eggs and soldiers will never be the same again with your Filo pastry. So buy a pack of Filo pastry, shove it into the freezer. Anytime you need to use it, what you need to do is take it out of the freezer. Do not let it rest on the counter. Leave it rest on your fridge. Don't refreeze it, but you can make delicious, delectable strudels. There's another gorgeous recipe I will include with this, which is sauteed potato and garlic, little bit of cream and cheese, fill the cups again, and you've got this gorgeous creamy potato pie, and I'll include that in the recipe as well. So lads, that is it for today. I shall see you tomorrow at 10.